U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Susan Rice has withdrawn her name from consideration to replace Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. After accepting her decision, President Barack Obama says that Rice will continue to serve as UN envoy. Rice is expected to meet with the president at the White House today. Rice had been one of the leading contenders to become America's top diplomat until she faced a barrage of criticisms from Republican lawmakers about her statements on the September 11th attack on the U.S. Embassy in Benghazi, Libya. U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stearns was among 4 Americans who were killed in that assault. Rice initially said the violence grew spontaneously from a protest against a U.S.-made amateur movie that ridiculed Islam, but the intelligence community later confirmed that the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi was planned by terrorists. And now, for more discussion on Susan Rice's decision, we're joined by VOA State Department correspondent Scott Stearns. Hello, Scott.
Vincent, how are you?
I'm fine. And you see, on those tragic events in Benghazi, Libya, in fact, even the president himself defended Susan Rice and said she was just making a presentation based on the intelligence that she had received. How did Rice end up becoming, the one who is bearing the brunt of the criticisms?
She took that question in an interview last night on the American television network NBC and said that it was her understanding that Secretary Clinton had initially been asked to speak on the Sunday talk shows, but it had obviously been a difficult week for Secretary Clinton, and the White House asked Ambassador Rice to speak on the issue instead. I think that no matter who went out on those shows for the Obama administration, they would have been speaking from the same unclassified part of the talking points that the intelligence community had provided on that Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And, the president has said, the buck stops here. In other words, is there a way that she could have defended herself at the hearing level, really, successfully?
There are Senate Democrats who believe that she could have been confirmed as Secretary of State. In her statement, she said that she feared a long, a protracted, and a political hearing. I think that would have certainly been the case. The president might have been able to get her through, but at what cost? At the beginning of a second term, when he not only has the issue of the fiscal cliff, but he'd like to move on some other issues like immigration reform. Does he really want to start his second term with what could have potentially been a months-long contentious nomination for Susan Rice? She felt that was not in the best interest of the country and said that's why she withdrew her nomination.
Now, on the Africa front, in fact, there was somewhere a little uncomfortable about Susan Rice being Secretary of State. They say she kind of had some positions they didn't like, especially on the genocide in Rwanda. And also she had some kind of friendly relationship with some leaders who are considered human rights violators in Africa.
A mixed record on the continent, certainly. I mean, as you remember, she was part of the Bill Clinton administration that trumpeted the new generation of African leaders at the time. I'm not sure that's necessarily worked out the way that Africans or the Clinton administration thought that might at the point. It's been no secret of her great admiration for the Ethiopian Prime Minister Meles Zenawi. That said, the eulogy that she gave and the effusive praise that she had for Prime Minister Meles jarred a lot of people at the State Department when she gave that. She has also, in her position at the United Nations, blocked a resolution that would have more directly named Rwanda as being a supporter of the M23 group in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I think there are legitimate questions to be raised about what she would have done in Africa as Secretary of State.
Yes. Now that she's out of the picture, what kind of options are left on the table for President Obama at the State Department?
Well, he could clearly nominate, whoever he wants. I think that it will be Massachusetts Senator John Kerry, who's made no secret that that is the job that he would like to have. It is something of a thank you from the Democratic Party. As you know, he was the party's presidential nominee and lost to President George W. Bush. He's certainly well qualified in being familiar with foreign affairs. and will likely be easy to confirm because senators tend to look out for their own.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Scott, for your insights. Well, Scott Stearns, VOA State Department correspondent, joined us here on In Focus today. Thank you very much.